So, CSGO cases are a hotly debated topic, right? They've been in the public eye for like over 10 years at this point. I'm just going to give you an objective view of cases because if you really look at what they did and what they designed, you should appreciate like the genius and the level of foresight Valve thought of and put into this case system. It's truly something to be admired. But you should never open cases, right? If you're like in any sense of the word rational and you look at your odds, especially what I'm about to show you, there's no fucking way you should open these cases. But the way in which they market them and the way they get you to keep coming back is fucking genius. You just have to admire what Valve has done with this case system. So that's a graphic I just whipped up real quick of a case, right? You could get a M4, you can get an AK, or you can get a beautiful knife, maybe even a Glock. So let's say we rip open a case, right? Put in a key and we pay $250. That's a key. Now this is the surface, right? This is what your odds are on the surface. So if you open up a normal case, I'm not talking armory capsules or the souvenir capsules, those are completely different. 80% chance of getting a blue on any single individual case. You have a 1 in 6 chance of getting a purple, 1 in 31 of a pink, 1 in 156 of a red, and 1 in 385 of getting a knife. Now, like gambling, Counter-Strike exploits the fact that cases are independent events. First case you open and the 10th case you open don't have anything to do with each other. If you open up 9 blues in a row, your 10th one doesn't mean automatically you're gonna get a purple. CS knows that, people with no knowledge of probability are gonna open 400 cases because they think I'm guaranteed a knife, but you're not. But this is a slot machine, right? Whatever. This is not groundbreaking tactic Valve made with the case here. What they did afterwards is what makes the case so special, which brings us to phase 2. If Valve kept it just like that top, just the case only, you get a gun, that's it, then everyone has the same skins after a while, right? The case has been out for 3 months, everyone's opened a couple of them, everyone has the same fucking skins. Where the skins derive like their value from is just how fucking hard it is to get something that you actually want. Now this is for skins first. Phase 1, float, right? So you could get a red, like a nice, beautiful fucking whatever, 8K print stream, and then it took you 300 cases to get this fucking skin that you always wanted. But then you get it fucking battle scarred, and you're like, what the fuck did I even open these cases for? It's like 7% to get back new, 8% from inwear, 23%, 17%, and this is 45%. So, I mean, these three, like, this is the bulk of your odds of what you're getting, and these all three look like fucking shit, right? This is 85 fucking percent chance that you get a shitty looking skin, even when you get a good red. So you get a red, but then there's an 85% chance you get a shitty looking red. So it's 1 in 156, sure, but it's 1 in 156 multiplied by 7%. So it's, so getting a good red is more like 1 in 2,300. But they don't show you those odds, right? Because they don't have to. They have the odds right here of getting a red. They don't have the odds of you getting a fucking good red. And I'm leaving out stat track, which is just another fucking path they go down, which makes a skin you get more or less valuable. Now those are the percentages for getting the wear you want, right? But what if you want like a specific float value, like a really, really, really low float value, where you get like, 0.0000347 29872. CS could have left the float at like 0. blank blank blank, but they did fucking 25 blanks for a reason, right? More probability, more ways for you to get fucked over. We can use probability again, right? But there's a 1 in 10 chance for each digit to come, right? A 0.9, 0.8. This first number could be 0 through 9. This second digit could be 0 through 9. This third digit could be 0 through 9, so on and so on and so on. So it's 1/10 times 1/10 times 1/10 to the 10th power. All right. See, like, what the fuck is that even? That number, bro. 10 billion? So there's 10 billion different fucking ways in which your float could look. I mean, and you want a specific float, like 0.500000. We're talking like 1 in a billion. You're not getting what you want out of these cases under any fucking circumstance if you include float. But we're not done, which is fucking crazy. Patterns. CS still is like the only game that uses patterns in the way in which they do. Float fucks you up, right? Like, but some skins look fine in battle scarred, so, And the float value to this degree of digits doesn't really fucking matter. But the pattern index can completely change what your gun looks like. So a CSGO skin has a pattern of 1,000 different, 1,000 different patterns, right? An AK case hardened has 1,000 different ways in which it can look when you open it. 1 in 31, let's say you get a fact new, that's another 7%. So getting that case hardened is already 1 in 2,300. But then if you get a wrong pattern, right? Void, right? You can't sell it for that much. You can sell it for the, you're still gonna make money, but you're not gonna make as much money as you could have. You can see how much it varies, right? And that's the beauty of the cases. People keep opening them. They keep chasing this, ultimate $2 million skin, but the odds of that happening are fucking astronomical, bro. We're talking like 1 in a billion. So if you wanted a stat track factory new AK case harden with a 0.00x float pattern 667. All right, a 1 in 10 chance of getting a stat track. Okay, so we have a 10% chance of getting a stat track. Factory new, 7%. AK case harden, 3.2%. 00x float value, 1%. Pattern 667, 1 in 1,000. 0.1% chance. So if you want this exact fucking skin right here, that's a fucking crazy number. So you have a 1 in 450 fucking million. Your odds of getting struck by lightning, like, I think is more probable than getting this fucking skin. So that's why people keep opening this shit, because you'll get a good red, you'll get a gold, but then there's so many other ways down the line to fuck it up, so that you don't feel like you actually got the best thing you could have gotten, right? If they just ended it at knives, you get your knife, you're happy, you never open a fucking case again. But you get a gold, you get a shit gold, and it's battle scarred, and it's the worst pattern, you're gonna keep opening fucking cases. The way in which they set this up, there's so many different ways down the line that can completely fuck over your opening. Even when you get lucky, you get unlucky. It's fucking nuts. It's genius. It's fucking genius. You have to admire. Whoever came up with this shit is a fucking genius. And we haven't even touched on the gold part. Float value. You can get a shit pattern. Gets so much fucking worse with a knife. So you have your knives, right? You have a karambit, an M9, a bayonet, flip knife, gut knife. All right, so those are like the 5 OG fucking knives. You get a knife, right? Now you have a 20% chance of getting any of these knives, right? And then you have a bunch of skins, right? You have like Safari Mesh, Boreal Forest, Forest DD Pat, Fade, Slaughter, Crimson Web, Urban Mass, Stained, Night. I think those are all of them, right? I'm surprised I was able to rip those off the dome like that, to be honest. 10, 11. So 20% chance of getting the knife you want, then a 1 in 11 chance of getting the skin you want, then 15% chance of getting it good looking enough for it to be worth something, and then a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting that crazy sick pattern. So knives are even fucking worse, right? Because you already have to fucking open on average 400 cases to get a knife. Good luck. Like, you're gonna get a knife and you're gonna feel good for 4 seconds before the actual knife pops up in your face, because it's gonna be a shit $40 knife. This is genius. So even when you get lucky, you don't get lucky and you keep opening fucking cases. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking genius. So you have to get a knife, and then you have this chance of getting a karambit fade, fact new, 100% fade, like the one you actually want. So let's add in the chance you get a knife. So again, like, you're better off going outside and trying to get struck by fucking lightning. I think that was the number, I don't know. 1 in 2 million, cool. 2 million times 2.5 is $6 million. So like, on average, you should spend $6 million fucking dollars to get a $2,000 or whatever it is, through $3,000 knife. Just buy the fucking knife. You're never gonna win on these cases. All right, that's that video. I have another video planned after this that like continues on this. If you like found how they like do this shit, and it's mad interesting. I'm gonna explain, how they're handling like the case loot box bans that are going on in Europe, and their plan. Like, if this is genius. So their terminal plan, armory plan that they have in the works is also genius. So I'm going to talk about that if you found this interesting later.